We got police killing a woman who is attempting to kidnap a 3-year-old out of the Omaha Walmart. Everything happens in Walmart. Let's get over into it. We got a few videos to look at, and then of course we'll go over to the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information on this whole tragic scene.
You also got to see that fatal laceration to his arm.
An officer, Walmart, 1606 South 72nd.
I need 2 squads, one for the victim who shot and the 2 that got cut.
A terrifying scene at this Walmart in central Omaha. One woman is dead, a young boy hurt in what police describe as an attempted kidnapping.
911 received a call. It was a nature unknown open line. A female caller asked for the police. Another voice can be heard in the background saying, "Stop, keep walking."
When officers arrived, they found a 3-year-old in a shopping cart, a caregiver, and the suspect, a woman with a knife. Minutes later, the call to help an officer. And you are watching 3 News Now at 6. I'm Mary Nelson. Developing news from central Omaha, where police shot and killed 31-year-old Noemi Guzman at that Walmart. They say she tried to kidnap a little boy there, and we have police photos from a responding officer's body camera. But I want to warn you, the image that you're about to see is beyond disturbing. This is that critical moment as Guzman, allegedly cut the boy. And officers made a split decision. One, Chief Todd Schmaderer says, saved the boy's life. Our 3 News Now team coverage includes Jeremy Fredericks and Max Williams, but we begin with Katrina Markle.
That deadly confrontation happened right here, just steps outside this central Omaha Walmart.
Terrifying new photos released late Tuesday afternoon from OPD body-worn cameras of 31-year-old Noemi Guzman. OPD Deputy Police Chief Scott Gray says Guzman kidnapped and slashed a 3-year-old boy with a large kitchen knife, and it appears to be a random attack.
At least one officer fired their weapon, and the suspect is deceased.
Police believe shortly after entering the store, Guzman stole a large kitchen knife, forced the child's caregiver to walk in front of the shopping cart as she pushed the cart with the 3-year-old boy inside, eventually forcing them into the parking lot.
The suspect produced a large knife inside the store and took possession of the child, essentially kidnapping the child.
Police were still interviewing witnesses this afternoon, but Gray says it doesn't appear that staff or other shoppers knew what was happening. At 9:20 a.m., 2 police officers arrived and called for help.
They encountered a female outside the Walmart at this location. She was holding a knife to a 3-year-old child that was in a shopping cart.
And that is when the child was slashed on his face and hands, and police immediately shot and killed Guzman. The 3-year-old.
At the end of the day, she needed to be shot. I don't see a problem with that. You're holding and swinging a knife at a child? Yeah, shoot her and get it over with.
Was taken to Children's Hospital where he went into surgery. We're told his caregiver was with him in the hospital. Investigators, including Nebraska State Patrol and the Sarpy County Sheriff's Office, are still reviewing security footage along with body-worn cameras. They can't say yet how many shots were fired or if both officers fired their weapons. I'm Katrina Markle in central Omaha.
Absolutely tragic. Let's get over into this next video, see if it tells us some more details.
We are getting some new details about an attempted kidnapping at an Omaha Walmart that left one woman dead and a child injured. Police released these photos from the incident. They say a woman carrying a large kitchen knife approached a 3-year-old boy and his guardian in the store yesterday, forcing them to walk into the parking lot at knife point. Responding officers say they ordered the suspect to drop the knife. She refused and then slashed the boy across the face. That is when officers shot the suspect and killed her. That boy was taken to the hospital. Thankfully, he is expected to survive. NBC News correspondent Emily Aketa has been following the story and joins me now. So, Emily, tell us more about the latest in this investigation. Do police think this was a random attack?
Yeah, they do. And just a terrifying one at that. You think about the timing of when this all played out. It was around 9 a.m. yesterday at a Walmart. So a lot of people are shopping at that time. And they say that the woman, you see her there on the screen, shoplifted that large knife from Walmart and then used that knife to force the caretaker and the 3-year-old boy who you see in the shopping cart to leave the store. And an argument basically ensued there. And police who then arrived say that she was making threats, refused to drop the knife, even cut the boy. He's recovering from lacerations to his face and his hands, and then that's when 2 officers fired shots. She died at the scene, but witnesses describing just the absolute chaos, how upset the caretaker of the boy was, and also the boy himself. Just a matter of minutes, but absolutely terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying.
I can imagine. At the end of the day, I've said this several times, be able to protect yourselves. Now, I'm not sure Omaha, I got to look at what their gun laws is, but I have mine on me. I'm allowed to, and I train to keep it on me. But you never know when a situation like this will pop up. Let's go going into it.
What do we know about this woman? Does she have a criminal history? Has she been at this Walmart before? I know it's early.
So police identified her as 31-year-old Noemi Guzman, and they released, you see there, that's a booking photo, a mugshot from an arrest back in 2024 when our affiliate in Omaha reports that she was arrested for setting her father's house on fire and then breaking into a church with a large knife in hand. Ultimately, she was found not guilty by reason of insanity. Court documents showed she suffered from schizophrenia. But
see, this is what I'm talking about. I've said this several times. Yes, I'm fine with someone who's truly insane getting an insanity defense, but it cannot be like a not guilty. They got to be like insane, but you cannot leave a facility. You got to be locked up in a facility for the rest of your life. I mean, that's how I feel. But let's keep going.
So we're learning more details as this is a developing situation. Still.
We are wishing that little boy a speedy recovery. How traumatic. Emily Aketa, thank you so much.
The child is going to need a lot of therapy. The mother is going to need therapy, or the caregiver, whoever they called her. This is a crazy scene that no parent would expect to happen. Oh, absolutely wild. Let's go over into the AI breakdown just to get a little bit more information about this whole case. So as we know, on Tuesday, April 14th, the Omaha police fatally shot 31-year-old Naomi Guzman after she kidnapped a 3-year-old boy at knife point and began slashing at him at the Walmart near 72nd and Pine Street. She reportedly shoplifted a large kitchen knife inside the store and forced a caretaker and a 3-year-old boy, Kyler Hillman, towards the parking lot. Arriving officers confronted her as she was exiting the store. Despite multiple commands to drop the weapon, she began swiping at and cutting the child. 2 officers fired their patrol weapons, killing Guzman at the scene. The child suffered significant lacerations to his face and hand, but is expected to survive following surgery. So according to reports, she was well known to law enforcement and had a history of violent mental health crises. So in 2024, she was arrested for dousing her father in flammable liquid, cutting him with a knife, as well as breaking into a church rectory while armed. She had previously been found not guilty by the reason of insanity for those charges and diagnosed with schizophrenia. Omaha police confirmed they had unspecified interactions with Guzman just hours before the Walmart incident. So are they saying that it could have been prevented? So the company issued a statement condemning the violence and confirming they are working closely with the investigators. Both officers involved have been placed on critical incident leave, which is a standard department policy. Yes. Absolutely crazy. See if they tell us anything more about the suspect's history. So she has been marked by a long-term struggle with her severe mental illness and series of increasingly violent incidents that led to multiple interactions with the justice system. We know in 2024 what happened with the church standoff. Following the case, she was placed under court-ordered supervision, where she was diagnosed with schizophrenia. In June of 2025, a judge ruled that she remained a danger to herself or others, and ordered her to follow a strict mental health treatment plan as an outpatient. You're a danger to yourself and others, but you can do your treatments outpatient. I will never understand. So until the Walmart attack on April 14th, there was no documented interactions with the court records that she was failing to follow her treatment plan or medication schedule. So what does that tell us? Either she was all good or she was hiding it good. But remember, y'all, the judge said back in June, you remain a danger to yourself and others, but you can do your treatments outpatient. You don't have to be locked up in here. Absolutely crazy. The morning of the shooting, hours before the incident, Omaha police had already had an interaction with her. So at 6:30 a.m., officers responded to a domestic violence call at the home involving Guzman. They transported her to the CHI Health Bergen Mercy for a mental health evaluation. Because she was there voluntarily, the officers believed that they had no legal grounds to force her to stay, and she was allowed to leave the hospital. She traveled directly from the hospital to Walmart and ended up grabbing that boy. At the end of the day, it sounds like it could have been prevented. But let me know your thoughts on the situation. Let me know how you feel about it. How do you feel about someone getting the insanity defense, and then they still think that they're a danger to the public, but they allow them to have outpatient treatments, meaning that they are responsible for it? The world is a crazy place, y'all. The world is a crazy